that's that money talk. That's that money talk. Got a lot of fans, a lot of haters, we just let them talk. Cause them never faces to the paper. What you talking about? The earth will really shaking with this craters that we throwing out, yeah. Came up in the game and gave him mouth to mouth.
Say so low. You got titty freedom hoes. Block his number, you need me. I will epic kill him, I promise.
What is up, you guys? It's your boy T-Russ back with another video. And today we are talking about Russell Westbrook. Alright? And so if you're down with that, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and also hit that notification button because you know we like to keep that nutty gang strong. So let's get right into it. Russell Westbrook has been traded to the Houston Rockets for Chris Paul and some future draft picks. Alright? And to me, at first I was like, I don't know, this might not be a good trade, you know? Both of those guys have the same play style except one of them can't shoot. So I didn't know how it was going to work. And they've been teammates before, and I mean, they didn't win anything before, so. But, I reevaluated. I slept on it. I slept on it again. I slept on it another time. And then I slept on it one more time, and I was like, you know, maybe in a Mike D'Antoni offense, a Mike D'Antoni system, maybe this will work, you know, maybe. You know, Russell Westbrook is surrounded by some shooters. He does average a triple-double per season. He is now surrounded by shooters. But it does limit a lot of people. It limits Russell Westbrook. It limits James Harden. It limits Clint Capella. It limits some people on that offense. First of all, you traded the best pick and roll, one of the best pick and roll point guards in the league, in Chris Paul. And to me, that's all Clint Capella is, a pick and roll center. You know, his post moves are zero. I haven't seen them. You're going to have to show me that he has them. I haven't seen any post moves from this guy. When he tries to do some post moves, they don't end well. So his post moves are not that great. So pick and roll was his offense. And, you know, with the best pick and roll guard in the league, Chris Paul, it worked. But now Clint Capella is limited because that pick and roll stuff, it's not in the offense. It's not in as big of the offense anymore because you don't have Chris Paul. Also, James Harden is limited because Russell Westbrook needs the ball in his hands. He is a ball-dominant point guard. So James Harden is limited because he is also a ball-dominant guard. He needs the ball to score, to facilitate when he does facilitate, and to have an effect on the offense. And Russell Westbrook is also limited because, like I said, he's a ball-dominant point guard. He needs the ball in his hands to affect the offense. And yes, he played with Paul George. And yes, Paul George did have an MVP season with Russell Westbrook. But was that Russell Westbrook taking a step back or Paul George taking a step forward? It was Russell Westbrook taking a step back because, let's be honest, Russell Westbrook was getting shut down. He was not having, he couldn't shoot. His shooting percentages late in the season were horrendous. They were terrible. So he had to take a step back and let Paul George run the offense because running it through him wasn't working. He can affect the game in more ways than scoring, but he had to take a step back on the offensive side because he was not scoring the ball. So, all to get to this, that James Harden, I think he'll like Russell Westbrook a little more than Chris Paul. Because, Chris Paul, he was more of a, he was older than James Harden, first off. So he felt he had more experience. He felt he could, lead more than James Harden. But, now, you got two guys who are about the same age. They both have about the same playoff experience. With James Harden being in the Western Conference Finals about 3 times. Both of them only going to the finals once. Russell Westbrook also has been to the Western Conference Finals 2 or 3 times. So, both of them have about the same playoff experience. And, both of them are, very vocal and when trying to say what they need to say. So you might see them bump heads a lot, But, I don't know. You might see them bump heads a lot. This team, like I said, has a lot of shooters. They just got Tyson Chandler as well. That's just a good defensive backup for Clint Capella. Nothing really too special there. What is he, like 37? Yeah, he's very old. But I did like him on the Lakers, so, he's still a very good defensive player. Very good locking down the paint. Very good shot blocker. Yeah. James Harden and Russell Westbrook, that's a dynamic duo that's going to be interesting to watch. That's what I'm going to say. It's going to be interesting to watch because, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how they grow together because even though they have played together before and they have been places together before, we have to take into account that both of their games has changed a lot. They've elevated, but they have also isolated. I don't know if that makes sense. James Harden is a primary isolation player. That's all he is. He is an isolation player. He gets his assists, but he is an isolation player. That is James Harden. And Russell Westbrook, he's known for padding his stats. I love Brody too. He's known for padding his stats though, and that's just the simple fact about it. He averages a triple-double, and we can't take that away from him. But he does pad his stats. And this is a playoff team, no doubt about it. But we gonna have to see how their chemistry works out to know if they can make a deep run into the playoffs. I'm still not seeing a deep run with this team. I think CP3 was just wasn't working out. And, I'll talk about CP3 in another video. But, yeah, I think they need to move away from CP3. And they did right by doing that. So that already makes it a good trade in itself. But, I think maybe they could have found a better fit than Russell Westbrook. Maybe a better shooter. I don't know. It's just hard because it's hard to find somebody to play with James Harden. I think that's the hard part about this, about saying where this trade is good or not. Because it's hard finding a guy who can play with James Harden if James Harden's not going to change his game. Because everybody knows that in order for them to win a championship, James Harden has to change. He has to. So, that's the hard part about analyzing this trade. It's just, it's hard to find somebody to play with James Harden. It's hard. But, nonetheless, I think it was an okay trade. That's where I'm at right now. We'll see whether it goes towards the terrible side or the great side. I think it's more towards the terrible side. It's more on that side. I don't think it's terrible. I think it's okay. But if you had to lean it one way, I would lean it towards the terrible side instead of the good side. Just because I don't think they'll make it as far as they did, 2 years ago with Chris Paul. Or even maybe last year. But we'll see when the season starts. Rockets, they made a trade that they thought was good for them, so we'll see how that works. And, as far as the video goes, that's it. So make sure you smash the like button, comment, subscribe, It's your there right now. Make sure you hit the notification button. And I see you for Naruto. Peace.
You can't do me. You can't do me. What you to me? You nothing